Good morning, private practice success community. How are you guys doing today? I am here outside in my front yard. I thought I'm gonna live stream from here. I normally live stream from the back deck, but my husband is home and he is like oiling the deck and doing all of that stuff, so I've had to move my live streaming out here. Which is perfectly fine. It's actually really beautiful. You might hear a car or two go past. Hey Helen, how is things going in Melbourne? Who else is going to be joining me? Is that you that I saw hopping on, Jackie? Could be. Say hi, say hello if you are joining me. And the dogs, that's also in the front yard. I've got my water here and I can tell you now I need to look out for them because they will just start drinking from my glass. Hey Jackie. Jackie says waiting for a client. Well, I'm happy that you are waiting here with us, Jackie. So what I'm going to do before I get stuck into the title, which is my 5 time management hacks that I know you are going to want to hear about, is I'm going to share it into just 2 of my Facebook groups. These are the 2 groups that probably has most of our private practice success community members in. Let me just put that one in. That's our general PPS group. How do you like my new laptop cover? Have you seen this on Facebook? I'm one of those people that buy stuff on Facebook that actually use the ads and use it. Hey Suzanne, how are you going? This is actually a protective case and it's pretty. And yes, it's pink. There was no purple, so I had to go with pink, but that will do. Hey Suzanne, good morning. Thanks for joining. Jackie says looks lovely. I really love it, and now I know my laptop is safe as well should something happen to it. Okay, let's do this in one more group and we'll put that in our masterclass graduate group. Okay, I'll share it later in other groups. Jackie says, gosh, where did you get that cover? I can look in my email what the name is. It's something about Silk and Sleek, or I don't know, but it was basically a Facebook ad that popped up into my newsfeed. There it was, and I just went, oh yeah, I want not 1, not 2, 3 of those. So I've got 3 for if I get bored of the color, because it's like very distinct stuff. I get bored quickly. Hey Cassidy, how are the first day back in term 2? Hope you are enjoying it, and I hope you're not in class, but is this first break 10 a.m.? I wonder. I highly doubt it, young lady. Awesome. Alrighty, so I'm gonna put the laptop down for now and have a chat with you guys. I actually made my notes on here. I've got 5 time management notes. This is the extent of the notes that I have. And as per usual, I was on my morning run, and you know, this morning run of mine is absolutely a gift that keeps on giving, because I just, you know, reflect on so much stuff. I think about my day ahead. I think about my priorities that I have in my day. You know, there's 3 really must-do things that needs to get done. And, you know, a lot of times I also get the message that I want to share with my community, with you guys, whilst I am on this run. Now, some of you might know that I am currently working on putting a time management course together that's going to be available pretty soon, and therefore time management has been in my mind a lot, because I've written out the modules, I've written out the sales page that's going to go on the website. So that was the topic that was in my head this morning as I was running, thinking about time management. And as I was going through it, my brain kept on saying, oh, this really applies to time management. This really applies to time management. Because a lot of stuff around time management is mindset things. So there's a combination of mindset and there's a combination of actual strategies that you need to engage in. Hey Janelle, thanks for hopping on and joining. And you need to get both the mindset and the strategies right if you want to be successful when it comes to time management. Now, the 5 things that I'm going to share with you today is some basic stuff. I mean, we've all seen handouts on time management on the internet, on Google, on YouTube. You know, there's a lot of free information out there. Hey, there's a truck parking here. Of course. Let me know if you can't hear me, but I will continue talking. So a lot of the information around time management that is out there is actually related to what I would call time management hygiene. So as a clinician, if you think about sleep hygiene, okay, I wonder if this is a package. Maybe I'm getting a package and you guys are going to see me getting a package. I don't know. Is it for me or the people across the road? I don't know. I love getting packages. That's what happens when you order stuff on Facebook, like where I ordered my laptop cover. That things just randomly gets delivered and it feels like Christmas when it's not Christmas. That's the best part because you don't know when it's gonna arrive. And yes, it is for me. Excuse me 2 seconds while I collect my package. Hello. Is that for me? Oh, okay. Hang on. My phone just fell over. That's no good. Let me pick this up. Come inside. Oh, this fell over. Just hang on. Yes, should I sign for that?
Yes.
Come on. Okay, calm down.
Come on.
I'm live here. Can you take that with?
Shush!
Come on, Biscuit. Okay. This whole thing fell over. Now I need to just. And this, guys, is how you know that it's all live. I'm sure I'm a bit skew now. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. There we go. That's a bit better. Look at our big parcel that arrived. Not for me this time. I'm sulking now. It's not for me. It's for... Oops. That's the dog running past it. Okay. Mental note, no more live streaming in the front yard. There's too many hazards. But we'll keep on going. The show must go on, as they say in entertainment business. And there goes the truck. Goodbye. Alright, so the point I was making is that when it comes to time management, you need to have the right mindset and the right strategies, and you need to combine the two. What I also said, the second point I was making is that a lot of the stuff out there already that is freely available is what I would call sleep management hygiene. So if you are a clinician that works with a lot of people with insomnia or waking up during the middle of the night, you know, sleep problems, you would know that there is a significant difference between doing sleep hygiene with a client versus behavioral sleep interventions. Okay, so I considered myself a bit of a sleep intervention expert, or specialist I should say, when I was still doing 5 days of consulting. And I can tell you that a lot of clinicians don't know about behavioral sleep interventions. They do the normal sleep hygiene, which is, you know, have a bedtime routine, make sure the aircon is on 24 degrees so it's nice and not too hot, not too cold, you know, put off all screens and TVs and stuff, certain amount of time you go to bed. So yes, that might sound like behaviors, but it's behaviors very level 1 intervention, sleep hygiene. And a lot of clients will implement that and it won't work, and then clinicians just give up, or they change focus in therapy, or they send the client to see the GP to maybe get some sleeping tablets just for 3, 4, 5 days to get them back into the habit, or send them to a psychiatrist, and they don't go into the behavioral sleep interventions, which is really that next level of dealing with sleep. If this makes sense to you, or if you've noticed that in, you know, in supervision that you might have done with clinicians over time, please let me know. Let me just check my laptop here for any comments, because I don't see a lot of comments coming up on my phone there, and sometimes that happens and I don't want to miss any. Jackie says, okay, yes, I've got that. Awesome. Alrighty, so we'll continue talking. So my whole idea with the time management course that I'm putting together is not to do hygiene stuff. It's really that next level stuff. And you know what, I always had so much respect for my clients that actually implemented this behavioral sleep interventions, because I was also an anxiety expert. So I actually dealt with 3 areas. I did PTSD, anxiety, and sleep. Hey Kim, thanks for joining. And I can tell you that actually implementing behavioral sleep interventions properly is much harder than doing exposure therapy when you're treating anxiety, because exposure therapy is gradual, it's graduated, where behavioral sleep interventions, you work out the sleep efficiency, you do the psycho ed, you tell them how it's going to work, and you get their commitment because it's tough as nails, and you start implementing. And that's what you need to do. And a lot of people fail at behavioral sleep intervention, especially if you did not prep them properly beforehand, did not do the psycho ed, don't have the commitment, haven't set up supports for them in terms of people at home to help them. So I guess what I'm saying is that the time management skills that I'm going to be sharing with you in my program, whenever it's ready, my website person is working on it as we speak. It's not going to be hygiene level, it's going to be behavioral intervention stuff. But if you can do it, you're never going to have to look at it ever again. And that, I think, is where the gold is. So let's get stuck into my 5 sleep management interventions that I was mulling over as I was having my run. And as I said, I wrote it down on here, so just as little pointers to remind me, the 5 little dot points. You probably can't see that like that. That's my handwriting, and it's in no particular order. So if you think about time management, you've got all this stuff to do. Jackie says, client here, sorry, we'll catch up later. No problem, Jackie. If you think about, you might have client-related work like reports, phone calls, that type of stuff. You might have business-related tasks like doing your books, doing marketing, meeting with your team, doing supervision. And then you might have family-related stuff that you need to do. Even though you're a business owner and psychologist, if you've got kids like me, it's like, it's back to term 2, there's the musical auditions, there's gymnastics, there's guitar lessons, and all of that needs to be managed. You need to pay the bills, put it in the diary, make sure they remember everything. It can be pretty overwhelming. All right, so it doesn't matter what your time management challenge is or in what area. These little time hacks is really going to be helpful. Now, if you're using this already, fabulous, let me know. If it's the first time you're hearing of it, let me know as well. So I like to know that at least when I'm sharing stuff that it is valuable to you. Okay, and what I might do, I'll just sit back a bit for the sun, that's better. All right, first one is what I called momentum. And it probably hopped into my mind first because when I go for my run, I have a bit of a 2-minute walk just to warm up. Hey Melanie, thanks for hopping on. I have a 2-minute walk just to warm up, then I do a run, then I do a short walk, and then I have this huge hill. So it's like within the first K, I've got this humongous hill that I need to do. And so the hill goes up slowly. There's a bit of a little steep, and then it goes up very quickly, and it's not too tall of a hill. And I have found that you need to start running when you're at the lower end of the hill. You don't wait to start for the steep part, because the thing is, if I can use my hands, I should have a whiteboard. So it's going like this, and then it goes up. You need to start running here already, because if you are still walking, because you might think, I'm back, sorry, not sure what happened there, it froze for a second. As I was explaining with the hill, if when you're running here and you're doing your hill, and this might be, you might have a big project that you need to do, which maybe consist of 10-20 different tasks. So you've got this big thing that you've got in your mind that needs to get done, but you don't have the time. That's the story in your head, and you go, I'm gonna wait, I'm gonna do the little hill, but I'm gonna wait until the big hill, the steep curve, to start going. It's so much harder to do the hill. Your mind gives you excuses like, I'm gonna walk this part so that I have more energy once the steep part of the hill comes, which is false. Okay, which is absolutely false, because that means you don't have momentum. So you want to build up the momentum. You actually want to start running whilst you're still on the straight part of your route whilst it's straight, 10-20 meters before the incline starts. And then when you do the hill, it's actually so much easier to do the hill. Did I explain that properly? I hope so. I had to use a lot of big English words that I don't normally use in the business course of my life, like incline. That's like gym words when you're on the treadmill. So it's about getting momentum, and it's about not leaving stuff to the last minute. No, I'm sure that there's a bit of personality traits in there as well. Definitely. Some people, and you would know those guys from university that cram the night before and they stay up the whole night. I don't know, those people are miracles of natures, freaks of natures I should say, because I don't know how they can do that. Melanie says, makes so much sense. My issue is I don't want to look ahead to the hill. Denial. Oh well, at least you have got that self-awareness. But that's the thing, is you need to plan it out, so you have to look at it. And I think, planning is that exposure and really making sure you know what's coming. And for me, I can when I do my run, because it's a long straight. So I do a lot of straight before the incline and then the hill starts. And you really want to have a day in your week where you can just, calm your mind and calm the inner emotions and go, this is my planning time, that I'm just going to look at what's happening in this week. What's happening in the next 2 weeks, and what do I need to do to get there? And it's really breaking those things down. I think a lot of times as well, we have this one task in our mind or on our list that we want to get done, but we don't break it down in the 20 little tasks that you need to do to get there. And therefore it means like you never get to tick off that task and there's no satisfaction in it. So it's very demotivating. So you really want to break it down in as little tasks as possible and do one little thing every day, and before you know it, that task will be done. So it's about momentum. So that's the first hack. You want to get momentum in your time management. Don't leave things for last minute. Set time aside to actually plan out your route, or i.e. in the case of time management, your week, your month, even your 3 month, your 90 days in advance. The next step I said was breathing. Breathing is so important when you are running. I can't tell you. And breathing becomes even more important when you're doing the hill, when you're doing the inclines, okay? More important. So if I'm doing my proper, what I would call running breathing, I can do the whole hill. If I don't focus on doing my breathing, I want to stop halfway already. I want to really stop 3/4 up. And I'm so out of breath when I get to the top. So when it comes to time management, you need to think of your breathing, yes, of breathing still, but really of that inner calm that you want to create for yourself when you approach your to-do list, okay? Because you want to approach it from a place of calm and not from a place of panic. And Celine says, I've been thinking of starting the 90-day vlog challenge and have been thinking of the whole thing. Just taking it one day at a time is definitely more manageable. Exactly, Celine. Because otherwise you freak out. You go, oh my goodness, what am I going to talk about for 90 days? Okay? And that will seem very overwhelming. Whereas when I did my 90-day vlog challenge, which was now a year ago, I think I started it. About more or less a year ago now. I did it, and I just went every morning. I went, what's been happening in my day? What can I talk about? Oh, that happened. That's relevant. I'll talk about that. So I just literally took stuff that was happening in my day that was relevant for my community and spoke about that. I never planned it out. Sometimes I would sit down with the camera, go, okay, what will I talk about today? And I go, all right, I'll do that. And then I just go. Celine says, definitely my thoughts. Excellent. Okay, so coming back to the breathing. I was actually a runner. I did cross country when I was in high school. And it was so important to get the right rhythm in your breathing as well. So your breathing slows down. So you start to take almost like 3 running steps before you breathe out. So it's like almost in for 1, 2, 3, 4 and out. So you slow down your breathing as you're running and it becomes a rhythm. And as long as I stick to that rhythm, you can just keep going and you can keep going and you can keep going, and actually builds your endurance. Now the fact of the matter is there's always going to be stuff on your list, always. Okay, it is so unrealistic to try and have an empty to-do list, because it's never going to happen. Because if it does happen, it probably means that you no longer have a business, you no longer have a life. There's always going to be stuff to do. So it's really about saying, I need to have endurance in this thing called life, and I'm always going to have stuff on my list, which is a good thing. I would also challenge you, and this is just on a side point, I can just hear my cat meow up there. On a side point, you always need to ask yourself, the stuff that's on my to-do list, is it actually my stuff to do? Or is it maybe something that belongs to somebody else, that somebody else should be doing? So, and that's not even one of the hacks I wanted to talk about today, but that is so important. But it's really about that acceptance that there's always going to be stuff on there. The acceptance becomes easier when you know that the things that is on there, it's your choice for it to be on there. You choose for it to be on there. So let's say if I'm just coming up with an example, and I'll use the old word for ATAPS. There's an ATAPS tender out in your local area, and you want to put in a tender, and you think, oh my God, this is such a huge job. They want so much from me, blah, blah, blah. It's still your choice to apply or not apply. And if you choose to apply and put in a tender, it's going to take quite a number of hours of your time, probably 2-3 days potentially, if it's the first time you're doing a tender. But it's your choice, and you are the one putting it on. So don't complain about it. Embrace the fact that you're taking this opportunity to apply for this tender, and acknowledge that I might not get it, or I might. You know, and even if we don't get it, it's not a waste of my time. Nothing I do is a waste of my time, because I will benefit from it in some way, shape or form. Even if I now have a bit of a template for next time, and I can improve on it once I get some feedback, that type of stuff. It's all a learning process. So if you can accept, the list will always be there, which becomes easier when you take ownership of the choices you make on what you put on that list. I once saw a really great meme that said, is your email inbox somebody else's to-do list? Okay. Don't let that happen to you. And it's really about knowing what your priorities are. And that's the thing that people sometimes get stuck in their inbox. You know, if you want to procrastinate and not get stuff done, just go and check your emails. I can assure you, you will do really well at procrastinating. So you don't want to do that. You want to be the person that makes the choices. First and foremost, what is on your list. And you want to approach that list with a rhythmic breathing response like a runner, which is going to give you endurance by being calm and going, this is my list, these are my items, I choose what stays, I choose what goes, I choose what I delegate, all of that type of thing. And that, people, is the postie that has just arrived. As you can see, he always gets a fabulous welcoming bark by, hi Abby, we've got another parcel being delivered by the postie. The second one, of course, on the day I'm live streaming from the front yard. Scotty, come here, you're being naughty. There we go, thanks. If you can get it past there, I'll just hold this. Is it heavy? Okay. Perfect, thank you. Christmas again, Christmas again. All right, so we've done 2 hacks. We've done the momentum, and we've done the breathing. The next part, I just called it pacing, with relevance or reference to the steps that you're taking when you are running. And I noticed that again this morning, and I quite often notice it when I am running, that sometimes, even though when I feel very tired, I go, why do I feeling so tired while I'm running? And I notice that I'm taking much smaller steps than I really should. Hey Amy, hello, see you tomorrow. Yes, the girls are all getting ready, Amy, to welcome you to the practice. They've been archiving client files like crazy, so there's as much space as possible to work. It's interesting, Amy, by the way, guys, for those in our PPS community, is from Simply Organized, and she is coming to my 2 practices Wednesday, Thursday and Friday this week to help us declutter and really look at almost the ergonomics, I would say, of our setup in our reception, in our waiting room, in our storeroom, making sure everything is on the right place, having a bit of systems behind it, and just decluttering stuff. You know, when you declutter, the space that it frees up in your mind is so much easier. And for my team, it's going to make their time management so much better, and it's going to uplift their productivity because they're going to know where everything is. It's not going to be cluttered full of old brochures or old business cards that we don't no longer use, and that type of stuff. So we can't wait to have Amy at Logan Home. I'm not sure which practice you're doing first, Logan Home and Kapalaba, over the next 3 days, and my team is very excited to have you. And once you know somebody's coming in, you actually get your butt into gear. So they've been doing so much archiving of files. We just recently went from paper files to electronic, and they're had to archive all of that, put it away in boxes and store it, and all of that's been happening. Okay, Kapalaba first. Okay, so I'll miss you because I'm actually at Logan Home tomorrow, but we'll see. I might get to see you. Mishka is drinking my water. That's okay, I can live with that. All right, so pacing, back to point number 3, pacing, and it's the steps you're taking. And it's almost like, if you think of that analogy that you guys have heard of before about the duck that looks calm at the top. So we've spoken about breathing. Now you've thrown it over. No, about breathing and stuff like that. So the duck is the calm, you know, looking very calm. I'm being accosted from all sides with the dogs, but anyway. So you are calm, but it's like underneath, you're like paddling like crazy. So that analogy applies, and it's very similar. I always use the analogy of like being on a hamster wheel. So if you think of a hamster, it's taking these small little steps. And when you're running like that, when you run a race like that, you're going to get tired so much faster. You want to elongate your steps, okay, when you're running, because again, that helps with the rhythm. When you're elongating it, you are covering more distance when you do this, whilst exerting less energy within your body. Okay, so you will also want to apply that to the way that you approach tasks, okay, in terms of how can I do this more effectively. Is there a more effective way that's not going to take as much time, that's not going to take as much energy for me to do this? And what I know of a lot of practice owners is sometimes they, again, do things that they shouldn't even be doing, or they're doing it the hard way because this is just the way that I've always been doing it. And I want you to ask yourself the following 2 questions whenever you start to do a task on your list. First and foremost, you know which one this is. Is this my task to do, or is there somebody else in my team that can do it? And then when your mind starts to go, oh, but they are really very busy, I don't want to do it, I'll just do it myself, you stop yourself and you go, no, that is their job. That's their task. Whether they're busy or not, it doesn't matter. It's still something they need to do. And you as the business owner will give them this task, remind them of it, and give them a deadline by when it has to be done. Okay, very, very important. They need to develop their own time management skills. And if they don't have it, that's the clue for you as the business owner to help them develop those skills. So first question is this my task to do? If not, delegate it to the appropriate person. Remember, no use having a team if you're not using them. And then secondly, ask yourself, is there a better way to do this? Is there a better way? And then your mind might go, there probably is a better way, but I don't have the time to research this now. I'll do it next time. And then what happens? Next time comes, and then you go, oh, is there a better way to do it? There probably is, but I don't have the time to find out what it is. Stop yourself, because over the long term, when it comes to that endurance thing, you're going to falter. Okay, so if you take the time now to find out, is there a more effective way? Put in the effort now. Ask that question. If you don't know, ask a friend, ask colleagues, ask within our private practice success groups. Is there a better way to do this task? Yes or no? You know, so for me, a couple of years ago, we moved from doing all our practice books on Excel to MyOb, which I hated. Ask that question again. Is there a better way to do it? And Adele says, hi Gerda, well done. Hey Adele, thanks for joining me. Adele is from South Africa, guys, all the way from South Africa. And then get a more effective way. So we went from Excel to MyOb to Xero, and it's so much more time efficient in terms of running reports, knowing where things are at in our business, in terms of giving access to our accountant. They have their own log on, they log in and they can see everything. No more schlepping of bank statements and stuff to the accountant. And you want to consistently ask yourself, is there a more effective way so that I can pace myself better and have better endurance? So that was point number 3. Then point number 4 is core. So you, believe it or not, if you're a runner, you will know this, that core strength, like a core strength ab and back, is really important when you are a runner. Okay, so I actually hate any exercises that I need to do that requires my stomach muscles. Okay, I just hate those type of exercises. I'm so bad at crunches and sit-ups and stuff, but I'm a runner, which helps with my core. All right, but your core needs to be strong. And when you are running and you start to struggle and you just start to focus on pulling in your stomach and tightening your core, your running becomes easier. Okay, it becomes easier because the moment you pull in your stomach, automatically your shoulder starts to relax and it becomes stronger. So your whole body that is carried as you are running, it's easier for your body to manage that. And for me, you know, the core really when it comes to your time management is the structure of your time management in terms of having a process to it. Okay, knowing what do I do and how do I do it, having that time where you plan out what's happening this week, where every morning you sit with that calmness, remember our breathing, calmness, that you approach this to-do list and go, what is the 3 most important things? You know, what is urgent, but also what is important, because sometimes something might be urgent, but it's not really important. And if you keep on paying attention to just the fires and the urgent stuff, guess what's going to happen? There's going to always be fires because you're not going to be dealing with the important things. You will be getting frustrated because you're not getting to the important things. You will start hating what you do because you're not getting to the stuff that's important, and you're going to feel like you're consistently on that hamster wheel of putting out fires. So you need to look at the structure of your time management, and you know, different structures might work for different people. And then point number 5, because I don't even know for how long this live stream has been going. Where's my laptop? Let's see if we've had any other questions before we do point number 5. I'm just refreshing it here. Let's have a look. It's taking its time. Point number 5, I'll start sharing that, is have a cheer squad. And this morning, hey Carla, thanks for joining. I'm just at point number 5 of 5, so you'll have to re-watch for the first 4. I think it's really important to have your own cheer squad. So this morning I do running, walking, so I do interval running, and it was an interval where I was walking, and this relatively old gentleman and his beautiful dog walked past me, and he said something and I couldn't hear him. I had my earphones on and I took it out, and he said, oh, you should be running, go, go, go. He was trying to be funny. I said, I'm still too out of breath. But I just love that, you know, and it's terms of really having your own cheer squad when it comes to running is very helpful. But I also think when it comes to time management, and, you know, maybe not having specifically a cheer squad, but having somebody on your team, somebody that can support you, or even an accountability buddy where you can go, you know, we know we've got so much stuff to do. How about we check in with one another at the start of the week and again at the end of the week? How about we commit to one another on this one task that we need to get done this week? Maybe a task that's not on that urgent list, which is just a fire that we need to put out, but it's actually something important that I need to do for me or for my practice or for my clients or for my family. And let's get it done and check in at the end of the week. And really asking that person, maybe, is there any way that they can support you to do that? So I think it's really important to have your own cheer squad when it comes to time management, because otherwise it can get pretty lonely when you're trying to get all that stuff done that is on your list. Carla says, such a cute dog, by the way. I'll rewatch for sure. Yes, Biscuit is lying over there. Mishka. This is A Dog's Life. There's Mishka. That's our husky. That's Biscotti. And Buddy is here somewhere. Buddy is here somewhere. He's our patient. He had an operation last week. So guys, that is the 5 time management hacks. I hope I explained that well. And that is what my running this morning reminded me of, good time management. Now, if you're interested in learning more about the time management program, once it's finally ready for release, please just put a comment and say me, maybe just say yes, or just say me, I'm interested, because then I will just tag you when it is ready to rock and roll. Currently, I'm thinking of doing 5 modules, which will be run over 5 weeks. It's basically 4 content pieces that will run live in the group. There'll be stuff emailed out. There'll be handouts and bonuses and stuff like that. There'll be Q&A time. So there'll be a dedicated Facebook group as well for this, because I really want to make sure that if you do this program, that it's not sleep management hygiene, but actually behavioral interventions that's going to make a long-term difference for you. So if you want me to let you know when it's ready, and you can look at all the details that I don't have off the top of my head right now, although I'm the one that wrote it all out, it will be on the website or on the sales page, as they say in marketing terms. Just put me in the comment box and I will tag you when it's ready to rock and roll. But I'm gonna love and leave you, because I have a pretty busy day ahead today. I haven't even had breakfast. I'm gonna have some coffee and toast now. Then I'm doing a masterclass pre-weekend workshop consult at 11:30. Then I'm doing 2 live streams in 2 of my groups, in my How to Start a Private Practice group and in my Next Level Mastermind group. Then I've got 2 more masterclass consults to do. And for me these days, I'm pretty spoiled. I get to do it from home, but this is a pretty big day for me because there's a lot of hours that I need to you know, be live, so to speak. So this is what is full on for me these days. But I still wanted to make the time to talk to you guys and share with you, you know, just that download that I got when I was doing my run. Hope you have an amazing day, whatever it is that you're doing. And remember, as always, all you need to do is say yes to your very own ultimate level 5 private practice. And I'll speak to you all again very soon. Bye for now.